Right. I'd like to talk to you about your back if you have a back problem. I've had a back problem for 50 years since I injured myself in a work accident in 1967. And the thing is, you will not get much help from medical authorities. They seem to be at a loss how to deal with this. You have to learn to deal with it yourself. Something that is very important is to keep active no matter what. Do not sit. If you sit, you're going to make your problem worse. If you take too many opiates, you will reduce your oxygen intake, you will get depression, and you will not get the metabolic activity required to give you the energy needed to give you the impetus to get off your backside and go for a walk around the block. Walking is the most important thing a human being can do for his digestive system and for his bones, how the nerve connectivity works, because as your nerves move through the facet joints in the back, they are lubricated when they walk. By sitting down all the time, they're not getting lubricated and they get dry, so when you move it becomes extremely painful. That's most of the pain in our backs in sciatica is caused by an accumulation of various things. One is your back is out of alignment one way or the other. You do not need to be a doctor or a specialist to look at an X-ray and see and compare it with a normal spine. If you can see the discs are compressed in some way in any area, you need to maybe see a Chinese masseur and get them to massage very hard, very firmly, the small ligaments in that area. That way may relieve the spasm. The idea is to relieve spasms as early as possible, because as spasms continue, this is the important part. As spasms continue, your discs cannot rehydrate. Discs are like heavy duty sponges. They need water in them or moisture in them so they can act as dampeners on your spine. This is the important part. The more they're in spasm, the more they will contract, the less moisture they can get into them, and the less they will be able to regenerate themselves into their normal size while you're sleeping or while you're walking or whatever. You will restrict the natural pathology of your discs in your back, and they will shrink, they'll get dry, and they will cause you endless pain. And once they get past a certain state, it's very, very difficult then to get them back to normality. The most important thing to remember about backs is to stretch. You need to understand how important it is to stretch 3 times a day, hanging from somewhere 3 times a day, 30 seconds each time will help bring some relief to your back. If you can get an inversion table somewhere you can lay on for 15 or 20 minutes, have one at home. All workplaces should have these where people are sitting. There are many ways to deal with your back. Sitting down is the worst thing you can do. Laying down for too long is the worst thing you can do. Being active is the most important thing you can do. Gently, whatever it takes, be active. It's important. Avoid opiates at all costs. Avoid opiates unless you really need them. Continually taking them is extremely bad for your health. It's bad for your mental health, your physiological health, your metabolic health, and it actually will cause you to decay. You will get depression, then your doctor will happily give you more addictive drugs, antidepressants, etc. But because that's what the system's about, is making profit out of illness rather than curing it. And when it comes to our health, the best doctor in the world is yourself. Learn as much as you can about how to keep your health as good as you can, and then you can enjoy a happy life in moderation. Moderation is the key to everything. And once your back is tough, avoid lifting anything. Be a hero is not to lift anything when you've got a bad back. Being a hero is to say, no, I can't lift anything anymore, get someone else to do it. That's when you realise the maturity of your situation, and you begin to take control of your own life in that circumstances where you may be expected to lift things that you know are bad for you. So just remember. And another thing is very important. If you can find a hill, a very steep one to walk up steep hills. That will automatically help all the muscles at the bottom of your back work. Like you inflate your biceps, it will make them inflate and will bring blood to that area, and that's a very important thing to do. I spent a year in China learning how to deal with my back problem, which was very serious. I hadn't walked for 4 years. So what I learned there, I'm going to try to pass on through this silly medium of the YouTube to the people, to help them understand how they can help themselves with their back problem, because that is the only way to deal with it, is to help yourself. There are lots of things on YouTube which can give you postures and everything, but it's understanding and learning yourself which matters. Thank you.